So this is real infrared and this is simulated infrared. Now, if you want to take an infrared picture, you normally need an infrared camera, a full spectrum camera with infrared filters, or you can use a real filter like the Hoya R72 infrared filter. However, for the filter you need to use a tripod. But anyways, today we're going to take a regular picture like this, which was shot on my iPhone, and we're gonna try to simulate the infrared image like this. Now, I just want to point out that infrared works better when it's lots of light. And for example, here we have shadows and it's much harder. So when you take this picture, try not to have many shadows like this. You want it to be nice and bright. So anyways, first step, reduce the highlights all the way, increase the shadows and the blacks to try and get rid of these black areas. We're going to try and increase the whites but not clip them. See, once you start to see this red, that means you've clipped just a little bit. Now we're going to go down here to the yellows. We're going to increase the luminance. Same thing for the greens, and this is just going to make it much easier for us to edit later on. So all the way. Next step, we're going to open this in Photoshop. So edit in Photoshop, edit with Lightroom adjustments. Here is our image. We're going to make a duplicate layer. So we're going to go to image adjustments. First, we go to channel mixer, and we're going to go down to the greens, and we're going to change the greens and the reds. So we're going to put 0 for the greens and 100 for the reds. Now, that should have gotten rid of all the greens, and we are left with yellows. Next step, image adjustments, hue and saturation. Go down to the yellows, and here is where you can change the color however you want. Now, I prefer kind of a pink look, so we're going to go here, more or less something like that. Go. That looks fine, and we want a little bit brighter, but not too much. So it should look something like this, and that's fine. Now we're not done. We're going to save this, and we're going to open it again in Lightroom. So it should look like this. As you can see, the dark areas are not colored. If you shot a picture with lots of light, it will work out perfectly. But if you have shadows, we can fix that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a brush, and we're actually going to paint in some color. So choose the color that you used, and I'm just going to paint this really quickly. I mean, this is just as an example. You guys go in there and you paint carefully, and it's going to take some time. But right now, we're just doing this as an example. So let's just do a quick paint. There we go. Okay, that's looking not too bad. So from here, all you want to do is go down to the HSL panel, and you want to tinker with the colors the way you want. I prefer the pinks, and it looks something like this. Increase the luminance, and maybe change this here, reduce the saturation. There we go, something like that. Now what you want to do is you want to match this color that you just painted in there, so you're gonna have to play with the HSL to get it exactly the way you want it to look. There we go. And it's getting there. You just need to play around a little bit with it. Okay, increase saturation here. If you're having trouble editing these areas that you painted in, just go to your brush and you can change the color or you can change the saturation. It's to your liking, as you can see. It's a lot of going back and forth. Now you should have something like that. But we are not done. Actually, let me fix that. Say more pink. There we go. Now you want to do something about the sky, because usually the sky is more to a turquoise color, like that. Something like this. And once again, this is a little bit too saturated, so I'm gonna make another brush and I'm actually gonna reduce the saturation there. Oops. Remove this and just remove a little bit of saturation. There you go. You can increase the shadows too. And it's looking much more like an infrared picture. So this is kind of like painting, you know? And we have a pseudo infrared picture, although to be honest it's not complete, because when you look at this infrared picture there's kind of a glow in the leaves and we don't have that glow over here. So next step, you're going to open a new brush and we're going to simulate the glow with reducing the clarity. Just like that. Okay. And I'm going to increase the vibrance a little bit. Now from here, like I said, it's just a lot of going back and forth. You want to play with the colors until you get the balance just right. Not too purple. There you go. Okay, so that's more or less the way I had it here. Obviously I spent much more time on this picture than this one, but it should give you an idea of how to simulate infrared. So if you guys have any questions, please be sure to leave a comment below. I will get back to you. There you go, fixed. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. And I know a lot of people like infrared but don't have an infrared camera, and that's why I made it. But anyways, please be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, like, and if you want more infrared pictures, I'll do that for you. So see you next time.